Join me today as I create a beautiful spring Easter inspired garden on our front entry table. So the other day, the bell rang and I had a delivery from Amazon. And when I opened up the box, I found this inside the box. It was another box with Mark Roberts on it. And when I read the card, it was from our dear friend, a subscriber, YouTube friend, Lucy. And it was in honor of her mother, which we affectionately call Mama. Mama and Lucy have been subscribers, I think, from the beginning. And Lucy very quickly became friendly with me through her comments, and of course, let me know what Mama was always thinking. Mama was a window dresser, and she used to find what I did amusing and reminiscent of how she used to decorate the windows in the department stores. Mama has passed on now, but we remain friends with Lucy. She's a very wonderful, dear lady. And every once in a while, she'll send us something special in the mail to surprise us. And she sent me a message that she knows that the winter gets me down. I suffer from seasonal depression. And she thought that this would cheer me up, and it certainly did. And I want you to take a look at this when I open up the box. And if you know Mark Roberts, you know how detailed everything he does is. And this is the Garden Fairy. And take a look at this, how beautiful this is. Look at his hat with the flowers and the jewels on it, and his beautiful face. Look at that. His beard's got pushed up in transit, but I'll get that fixed. And look at the butterfly and all the little details and the flowers and the jewels and his just look at that. That is unreal. And his beautiful shoes with all the flowers on it. And of course, he has wings on him that I have to open up. Look at the little tassel on his hat as well. So when I got this, I was like, okay, I have to make a whimsical garden scene because of this guy. So although I said I wasn't going to do anything whimsical, I am going to do something whimsical on the entry table. And look at the little shovel, because he is absolutely beautiful. So let's see. I hope I do him justice where I put him. All right, so we're here in the foyer, and I'm going to do something on the entrance table for spring, Easter. To be honest with you, we're not really expecting anybody over for Easter this year, so I'm basically doing this for us and for you too. And I don't know if you caught my last video. I'm really, I'm not really into putting a lot of stuff out this year for Easter and spring, only because it's just a chore to take it out and then put it away. It feels like overnight I'm putting it away, but I am going to do something here. I did a centerpiece on the ottoman, which also serves kind of like a coffee table-ish in the family room. Check that video out. Maybe I'll put a picture here if I remember, and I'll stick it right here that you can see that. But anyway, I was going to do something really simple here. I had a couple of ideas. I'm just going to go by you. I was going to do a garland like this and like this, and put a lot of flowers and eggs and stuff in there. And then I changed my mind, and I was going to do a garland halfway here like this. And I was going to put the FAO Schwartz 3 bunnies with the umbrellas here, and then maybe have some crystals to make it look like it was raining on them. Then I think I ditched that idea as well. And then I started thinking, you know what, I really want to do it, but I'm going to do maybe something whimsical here, because again, I think it's what people expect from me, and so I'm going to do it. I mean, I think, I'm not positively sure, but then I thought, okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this look kind of like a spring garland, spring garden, excuse me. And maybe I'll use a couple of bunnies over here, and then a bunch of carrots and flowers, and maybe a wreath on here. I don't know. I'll see. We'll work through it together. So first thing I have to do is clear this table. Boo-hoo. Oh, and you know what? I might even move the chairs for this. I don't know. I really don't want to. I'll see. We'll see as we go along. I'm going to start with this little piece of a grass runner here. So what I'm picturing right now is a basket here, maybe tilted, that it's spilling over. And so I have to find the basket and something for it to tilt off of. All right, so these are some of those logs that you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's, in a place like that. And what I did was I actually hot glued them together to make a bigger log. And then what I'll do is I'm going to use this old-fashioned basket. Look how that looks, like an old-fashioned Easter basket with the lace on it and the pretty colors and the bows and whatnot. And I'm going to put that right here like it's tilting. It is tilting, not like it's tilting. Next in is this sad-looking grapevine and boxwood wreath. I had it outside last year, and all the plastic boxwood leaves kind of like just crinkled off. But I'm going to try to fix it. I'm going to put some stuff in it, and if it looks good, we'll leave it. If it doesn't look good, maybe it'll come down. I have these, which I really like. And I'm going to try to fix that wreath a little bit. I have them in this lilac color and in this celery green color. I think I'm going to start on one side of the wreath. All right, so that's where I am right now. I wanted it to kind of look like, in a forest when there are things hanging from the trees and so on. I was trying to get that kind of a look there. Not mysterious, but a little bit like that forest look. So it's funny when I think about having to do some of this stuff, and sometimes I don't feel like doing it, like I've been saying, but then when I start doing it, the creative thing in me kicks in. And I try to do things that maybe are a little bit off the beaten track, something hopefully that, not too many people do. And that's why some people don't like it. And then some people really like it because it's different. And so what I'm talking about is like, I decided to use these branches in this wreath here like this for a couple of reasons. Like I had said, I want to give it that forest motif, spring is coming and things are, going to start budding and stuff. But also symbolically speaking, we're talking about Easter here. So kind of the circular part of this wreath, as well as these branches, kind of can acknowledge the thorns that were placed on Jesus's head at the crucifixion. So, again, it's it's an artistic viewpoint on it, and something that maybe most people would not even, think about, but it's there again. And remember, there's a lot of secrets to art. It's something that the artist feels and does, and sometimes people get it, sometimes people don't get it, and sometimes people might get it, and like it used to happen with my students all the time, they don't say it because they didn't want me to say to them, which I would never do anyway, where did you get that idea? Because I listen to everybody. Everybody has something worthwhile to say. But anyway, so that was my thought process for putting these branches in this wreath. Now let's see what else I can do to that. All right, so this is what I came up with. I added some leaves which had that lighter green tones in it just to suggest the new growth. And that, I don't know what that is. Is that wisteria? I don't know what that is. But anyway, I wanted that foresty kind of a look, and I think I achieved it. It could change, but for now I'm going to leave it and start working down here. I used some Christmas garland here just to make some greenery along the bottom, and I kind of did it like in a zigzag fashion. I let this piece hang right here, and I came around here, and then I brought a piece and I hung it down here. I don't think I'm going to add any more. I think that's it. I also added some inside the basket, and I'll put them on later. I added 100 mini Christmas lights in here as well, just to give it a little bit of a glow. And I'll figure out what I'm going to do there soon. All right, I try to let you keep up with me. I might change things, but that's part of it. And I think a lot of you like to see that kind of stuff anyway. So what I decided to do was, again, repeat that same story from above down here using these. And, I love things like cascade. I just feel it makes it look more natural and more mysterious. And I don't know what, but I like it. So I added, if you notice, I did it here, and then I did it in the middle. I had a piece there, and I did it there. Now, I had it in mind already before. That's why I arranged that garland in that way. So, like I always say, it's best to plan it out. I didn't plan this fully out. I just had like some kind of image in my head, and I'm trying to work off of that. That's when it changes. But anyway, so if you have like a basic plan, a lot of times I draw it out. I didn't this time because I wasn't expecting to do this, but I'm having fun doing it right now. So anyway, so that's where we are right now with the greenery. And I have to fill all of that in because I don't want to see garland. It's supposed to be a spring garland, not a spring garden. Not, I keep saying garland, a spring garden. So I don't want to see that Christmas garland. All right, so I told you I really didn't want to use these whimsical little things, but I'm going to because it'll fit the motif here. So I have this one, and she's actually really, really nice. I hate to even say that I don't want to use her because when we found her at the Christmas tree shops a while back, we were really happy we found her. Look how so many details. I think she was like $10 back then, and the little ruffle here and the bow and whatnot. And she actually gets smaller and taller. And hold on, let me pick her up. Look at her shoes there, how cute. So I don't know, I had this idea that maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to have her on this side crouched down, like hiding from Mr. Rabbit. He's on the other side because, like when we were kids, I don't know, they still do it. I think they do it. Like my parents used to hide Easter eggs, the colored, we used to color the eggs, and then the night before Easter, they would hide all the eggs, and in the morning when we got up, we would, go looking for the eggs. So that's a little bit of the storyline behind here. They're in the forest, though, and she's hiding down. She's either looking for eggs or she's hiding from him. He's, putting the eggs down. I don't know. You make up the story. It's something, something like that. All right, so let me get her in position. All right, so I stuck her in here on the side of the basket, and I put this log in front of her so that we get the idea that she's hiding back there. So now I have to fill in there. 2 picks, and she looks like she's hiding behind some shrubs. Next in is Mr. Rabbit, and let's take a look at him. Look how cute he is with his straw hat and the Easter colors and his bow tie and his Ralph Lauren plaid shirt and his little vest and his egg hunting bag and his little shoes. Okay, so he's right over there. All right, now in my endeavors to make this whimsical, I added this in. For those of you that know me, you've seen this before. For those of you that just stumbled on me right now, these are those plastic eggs, like from the Dollar Tree, and the ones that are in a half. So I took took them apart in half, and then with a plier, I cracked this to make it look like it was cracked. Like, when birds hatch out of their shells, that's what they look like. But instead, what I did was I made it hatch, and I have a tulip growing out of it. So what I did was I took one of these baby tulips and I painted it, and the color I wanted, because it was very, very pink. And then what I did was I used Mod Podge, and I made it stiff and closed it so that it looked like it was just opening. And then I hot glued it inside this egg, and then I put some moss in there. So the eggs look like they cracked open, but tulips are growing. So I thought that was a nice whimsical touch for right there. All right, next, of course, I have to add in the iconic tulip for spring. And I scattered some of these eggs here and there. How can we have bunnies without carrots? These were carrots that I made a while back. They're actually pine cones, long pine cones, and I think I put a newspaper on them and then masking tape, and I made the form of the carrot, and then I wrapped the whole thing with orange yarn, and then I just put some brown spots on it to look like carrots. All right, so let's take a look at the whole thing.